I got to see you, and hope everything gets better in the future with Laura as well with her surgery.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope you continue to excel in your job.
Yeah,
I really do.
Cool. No, I appreciate it. It's cool. And I missed everybody. I'm doing my own thing, and I'm just hanging out and just chilling at home. And like, Laura's gonna have her surgery coming up, and she's insisting we have people over. I'm gonna run another King of the Couch one of these days and just chill here at the apartment. And, like, I have setups, I have TVs, I have everything here.
Just right now, the time's
like right now, I'd rather be on my own at the moment. So that's what it is.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else you want to add?
No, it's cool. Just tell everybody I said hey. That's it.
Well, you can do it. You have everything.
Nah, it's cool.
Alright, guys. Thank you again for listening. If you have any more, not questions for Henry, of course, I don't know when it's the next time we're going to be able to do this again, but if you have any questions or requests on what topic you want us to talk about next, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And I want to thank Henry again for doing this. I'm FOB Fuego. He is Nero. Take care of you guys. Stay safe. Drive home. Good luck to the Astros that are playing tonight. And wish me luck on trying to get my car moving again.
I don't watch foosball. Hey, are we going to Survivor Series? We should go to Survivor Series.
Oh, wait. Hang on, guys. I told you, since we're at NXT, I fucking told you.
Here's the thing.
No.
Here's the thing. Look, I didn't know that NXT was the same weekend.
No. They're always the big...
I didn't know they were going to do...
They always do the big four.
I forgot. I didn't know.
And it's War Games.
So... That's the one thing I don't want to see.
It's War Games.
I don't give a fuck about War Games. WCW was garbage.
No, but the fact that it's...
The only reason I want to go is because Sanity's there. That's it.
No, because look, I love the fact that they're doing... I had to burp. They're doing two rings side by side. I fucking miss that.
Oh, that's so fucking Vince Russo. It's not even funny.
It's not even Vince Russo.
It was Dusty Rhodes.
It was Dusty Rhodes.
But it was so stupid too sometimes.
But it was so crazy.
Do you remember? This is a thing that happened.
Oh shit!
This is a thing that happened.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought we were done.
When Dusty was working at TNA, the reason they came up with the pay-per-view TNA Lockdown
was because of him.
Because we're gonna have Kurt Angle versus whoever in the cage. There's Samoa Joe in the cage, right? And then Dusty Rhodes said as a joke, why not have every match in the cage?
Look,
and then put an entire pay-per-view like that.
No, hang on. To be fair, that's the only TNA pay-per-view I have ever bought. That's the only one, and you know what? I was thoroughly entertained. Because it's such
Did you get the one that had the electrified fence?
That one was fucking hilarious. No, I did not, but I did see the match though.
God, it's garbage.
They were flickering the lights even though they're like shaking.
I recommend you find there's this Scottish guys on YouTube called SW Review. They review pay-per-views and order and all kinds of stuff like that. They did the TNA trilogy. It was like Lockdown, Bound for Glory, but the reason the trilogy was based on the fact that their favorite wrestler from TNA, which was Black Rain, aka Goldust, when he was there,
he was bad.
They made an entire point of pointing him out to the entire thing, and it's so funny the way they did it. It's so funny.
Send me a link to that.
I'll send it to you. It's so hilarious because they of course they admit that he was in a bad thing, but at the same time, if you go back and watch the promos and shit, like Dustin was doing some kind of interesting stuff at the time. He was just in bad shape.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
I remember he was big.
Yeah, he was big, and he was just bad news.
DDP yoga, man.
Yeah, it helps everybody. So I'm thinking about getting it too. But yeah, it's like
honestly, I've been thinking about getting that too.
What is the War Games thing? It's like I know it's sad.
Have you ever seen War Games?
I've seen the old War Games and they suck. They fucking suck.
Okay.
I have the goddamn match where the Ultimate Warrior pops up out of the fucking ground and fucking Mystic does this shit, and then he disappears and he runs up the fucking ground, and then Hulk Hogan and Macho Man are in fucking army fatigues.
Okay, do you know the rule? Okay, you don't know who's in it?
Okay. Yeah, Sanity, I know that much for sure, and then it's like Roderick Strong and Undisputed Era.
Yeah, which is the
Adam Cole, Bobby Fish. What the fuck's his other name?
I don't know the other
Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And the third team, I think it's I forgot what the third team was. I think I can look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up.
Let me look it up right now. I thought we were done.
I mean, what was another thing? I remember you said you saw Zach Gibson, that you had never seen him before in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. That's what I'm talking about.
That fucker's badass, dude.
Look up. I'll send you links. There's a match he did with Will Ospreay in WCPW. It's fucking good. Like that dude, he stretches that guy out so bad. He does the gory special where he has him on his back
and he's stretching him across,
and he grabs his shoulder blades and pulls his arms around him, and it just looks so mean. I'm like, fuck you, that looks so bad. And the whole, what is it, the Kenny Omega, the invasion of Raw with Cody Rhodes and stuff. They got Jimmy Jacobs fired.
Did you see the episode today that they released?
Yes, it's fucking.
Did you see it? I saw it right before I came here. It was so, but it looked so cool because it showed him, hey, we need someone to take a picture. We need someone to take a picture.
So
and then
funny.
he's in the crowd. And then they showed the footage of him going to them during the invasion. Jumps up, wraps his legs around them,
So funny.
and he's going into the locker room. And I'm like, it was so meta because I'm like. Because he got fired. Because I didn't know who he was. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know.
He was a very prominent, like the early days of Ring of Honor. He's famous because he was a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. He's a really good wrestler. But he did an angle that lasted years. Like his relationship with a woman wrestler there, and like this whole love triangle thing they had, and like the matches that accumulated with it, and people got in there. It was basically like the modern day Tommy Dreamer Raven thing, where like they were fighting. That lasted forever, and the Jimmy Jacobs thing like lasted for years. This angle went on for years, and then he retired. And his last match there, it was the ending of the angle, and it's like the most. I forget the whole details of it, but it was just really intense. And yeah, he was a writer. He helped write Jericho's. All of his stuff that he was doing, the list and all the insults.
And it was so good. I love the list.
Because he's a really smart wrestler. He's a really smart writer, too. And there was always that whole, like, kind of subtle, like, jabs at WWE, and then people making fun of Ring of Honor and all this kind of stuff. But now it's overt. They don't give a fuck. Omega and the Young Bucks and Rhodes, they're legitimately calling out people. Hangman Page, those guys are legitimately calling out people, and it's great. Because there's no way in hell they're ever going to do a Bullet Club in the WWE. No way.
They tried doing the club.
They have the club, and they have the Balor Club, and all this stuff like that.
The one thing that we'll say is that they do acknowledge them. They do acknowledge the faction.
WWE tries to ignore them as much as they can. But you can't deny all the fucking Bullet Club shirts out in the crowd. Like, not one bit you can ignore the Bullet Club shirts in the crowd. It's like crazy. And yeah, they do the kind of tongue-in-cheek. Here's Balor hanging out with Styles and
Gallows
and the Gallows and Anderson in the back, and they do the little thing, and everybody gets a little kick out of it, and then out of nowhere, here comes Adam Cole with the Red Dragon. Because O'Reilly and Fish were part of Red Dragon. That was the faction they had in Ring of Honor. They can't use that name, and then that Undisputed Era is such a dumb name. That faction name is so terrible.
I would have just gone with
anything other than that.
Anything that's like remotely close to Ring of Honor.
The Undisputed would have been fine, but they had to make it this era thing, and it just makes it sound so corny, and it doesn't have any kind of like ring to it off the name. Mm-hmm. Like Bullet Club sounds like a thing, like the New Day, all this shit like that. It's like a whole other thing. It's like Undisputed Era just sounds so like hokey, and I don't like the names at all. And I don't see how Adam Cole is going to survive in that company. Because that dude is a foul-mouthed fucker.
I know he's trying really hard.
He's trying.
I'm trying to find the competitors, but I can't really find them. I don't know where to look.
Who's your favorite NXT guy right now?
Not Gargano.
Gargano? Yeah, he's been around for a good number of years. He's finally getting his due.
Yeah.
His wife's wrestling there now, too. Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae. I've been watching the only time I watch NXT is during like the takeovers. It's the only time I watch them. I'll keep
you don't
tabs.
watch the weekly stuff?
I don't, not really. It's
the developmental stuff. Yeah,
it's easy for me to see. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like it's
because there's some good guys coming up now that are really good.
There's one match. Granted, I did see. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I don't know who this guy is. The guy, he's African American male, tall black guy, and he's very eccentric.
Oh, the Velveteen Dream guy?
Okay, his opponent, though, was a short African American guy with the orange hair.
Yeah.
And that dude can move.
Okay. Oh, Leo Rush.
Yes, that dude.
That's been a big deal.
That dude,
Leo Rush is been everywhere, and then he's like the fact that they got him is a big. You know who's coming next in January though, right?
Who?
The Ricochet.
Yes, I heard that.
He's got his no compete clauses are done. He's got to wait till mid-January before he can sign anything, because he's still fulfilling all his commitments basically. But he's pretty much on the way there, and it sucks that Neville's not there anymore. And he walked out.
WWE is doing something wrong. They did him bad.
They lost Aries and Neville. Like come on.
Aries didn't walk out. He asked for his.
Yeah, he asked because. Like, they just said, oh, you're a cruiserweight. You're not going to get any better. It's like, Aries is not a fucking cruiserweight.
He
should have been a fucking world champion. And then you just relegate him to the show, which you guys are mishandling so bad. Like, there are great wrestlers there, and you guys just don't know what to do with them. Y'all keep thinking they're small, so you don't fucking do anything with them. Fucking Gentleman Jack Gallagher should be fucking up there. Like they turned him heel recently, huh?
Yeah, he's heel right now. He's with Brian Kendrick.
It's weird that they turned him heel because that gimmick should have been much bigger.
Okay, as far as right now, there really hasn't been. No one's really been announced for the match itself. All I know for sure.
They have the 4-way for the women's.
Actually, no, it's here. It's here.
I know they got the 4-way for the women's title. Which is Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and whoever else is in there.
Okay. So this is from what I found already in the War Games Wikipedia. As of right now. Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Killian Day, which is Sanity.
Yeah, Sanity, yeah.
Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. And the authors of Pain and Roderick Strong.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is.
So those three are going to be in there. Now, I've always loved cage matches, and don't get me wrong, I love the fact that they're bringing back something that's been gone for a while. Is it a stupid idea? Yes. But if you're going to do a stupid idea, do it big.
Yes.
No, but here's the thing, though. Are you going to tell me that these are not the right people you at least want to see in a match like this?
Sure, but at the same time, these guys don't need these kind of gimmick matches. That's the problem.
It gives me more reason to watch.
They pushed
this gave me a reason why I'm like, I kicked myself in the ass because I could have bought tickets for work for NXT because I told my wife, she asked me, would you rather go? NXT or WWE? I goes, I'll go to NXT.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more lesser known, but they're willing to do more for the bigger buck. And it's going to be badass. Cause and then whenever they said, you're going to put 2 rings together, she's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm geeking out so bad that this even exists. I'm geeking out that I actually get to see this match, but because all the matches I've seen in the past, there were very old people.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior debacle thing, they had a trap door on the bottom, and the British Bulldog messed up his back for life. He was never the same.
Yep, that's true.
And the guy that was in the ring posing as the Ultimate Warrior,
yeah,
he was the Renegade.
Yeah,
the knockoff parody version of him.
So they did OSW Review did an entire retrospective on that. I'll send it to you.
Wrestling with Regret?
Yeah. No, well, the Wrestling with Regret did too, but then OSW did an entire thing too.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, now that they announced more games, I'm sorry, Henry. This is the kid in me. Cause I love
so dumb.
I'd rather have this than a flag match, okay?
But because they shouldn't even be a match anymore. That thing's a terrible idea.
It's a bad idea. But I love the idea that it's 2 rings. That's the only reason why. Remember it used to be 3 rings?
I remember the 3 rings, and I remember how that was stupid too.
But it had something. What was cool is that it was a Royal Rumble, but it was a big fucking Royal Rumble, and then they all met in the middle. I like ideas like that.
But the problem is the entire rest of the pay-per-view was run in 3 rings, and aesthetically it looked terrible because you have 2 small wrestlers or 2 wrestlers fighting among 3 rings. And like the Rey Mysterio, the Rey Mysterio versus Dean Malenko match looks like crap because they're in a fucking little ring on the side that everyone's not paying attention to because they can't see shit. And it's like aesthetically it looks terrible. And the fact, okay, you got 2 side-by-side rings and you put a cage around it. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. You could have just had why not just have a fucking cage match? That's it.
They need the room, I guess.
No, they don't.
Yeah. to have 9 people at once,
TNA did it all the fucking time with their 6-sided ring and they had a cage.
I remember the cage more than I remember the competitors in the cage.
Yeah, but Well, what's that dude's name? He's a kind of a Shelton Benjamin knockoff. He has the greatest fucking thing in TNA history where he walked along the top of the cage and then fucking hurt. Yeah, there you go. Best fucking moment in the entire thing. There's like 9 guys in the fucking ring at the same time, but everyone remembers that spot.
Was it 9 or was it 6?
It was like 6. It was like, I think it was 9 because I think it was 3 teams running that thing because it was an X Division thing.
No,
they had everybody.
It was.
Had Sanjay Dutt in there. The machine guns were in there.
No. The very first. Okay, he might have done it again since then.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the very first time that he did it.
Yeah.
It was with him. He teamed up with Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, they were Triple X at the time.
They were Triple X, and then they
had the machine guns, but they weren't the machine guns yet.
No,
they were just in there.
No, they weren't in the match in this one. They went up against America's Most Wanted.
No, that's right.
They were the 2 hottest teams then. I watched TNA when it was on Fox.
God,
I watched it.
I did too back when the day. I remember watching it.
I remember watching it when it was on pay-per-view exclusively.
Well, no,
you know why? Because
they did a pay-per-view a week.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Weekly, that's what I'm saying.
They were like $9 a pop or whatever.
But you know why though, right?
Yeah.
My dad got a cable box from a friend of his. Like, hey, I got a cable box.
Yeah.
You want it?
Oh, the free ones.
Yeah, but he didn't. He did not know that you get to look at the pay-per-view channels.
Yeah.
So I saw the entire Attitude Era for free.
Yeah, basically things in here.
But after the Attitude Era was starting to like die down a little bit more, I'm like, okay, I'm still watching wrestling. And then out of nowhere on a Tuesday, I remember that TNA would come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who are these wrestlers? Oh, there's a Grandmaster Sexay. And
there's Jerry Lynn.
There's Jerry Lynn. Oh, I didn't know Jerry Lynn then.
Yeah.
I like because he looked familiar. But I didn't know anything yet about him. But I did see who else? Ron the Truth Killings.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Man of ages.
He's like, well, what is Kate Quick doing over there? And like, Ken Shamrock? What the fuck happened? Because I saw the pay-per-view. It was Unforgiven. That Ken Shamrock was supposed to be on the show.
Yeah.
And then he didn't show.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see him fight Chris Jericho. That same week after that, that's whenever I saw like, oh, so that's where he went. I didn't know that he went there.
Yeah.
So, and then after a while, I started watching the weekly things.
That must have been when NWA TNA was a thing. When they still were working together.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
And by the time it became Impact, was whenever they went to.
When they separated.
Yeah, for the Fox.
Yeah.
And what was cool then is that new wrestlers. That's why I got introduced for AJ Styles. And
CM Punk was there for a minute.
Punk. I didn't see him there wrestle though.
He wrestled Vampiro a few times and Raven a few times.
But by then, like he was already gone. But I will say the very first time that I saw a X Division match was 1 week right before Samoa Joe came onto the scene. And before that, it was a 6-man tag, and it involved P.D. Williams. I don't remember all of them exactly, but I know that...
Team Canada?
Team Canada.
So it was P.D. Williams,
Eric Young,
Teddy Hart, and Bobby Roode or some other shit.
Eric Young. He was...
Yeah, Eric Young was there.
And then it was Chris Sabin...
Sanjay Dutt.
Sanjay Dutt, yes, that's the dude. And Christopher Daniels. And I have never seen a sequence of moves that... There were new moves to me at the time, too.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I got introduced to the Canadian Destroyer.
It's the most overrated fucking...
It's just overrated, but it looks so cool.
It looked cool for a while.
It looks so cool because you're like, what?
And everybody fucking learned it, and then...
Oh, that's how you did.
Yeah.
But the fact that existed, I was like, oh, okay, they got me hooked into watching more. And then that's when it led up to where the pay-per-view, the cable box stopped working because they weren't doing
digital anymore.
Yeah, so I could watch the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So I'd have to see highlights of what happened in the match. And I remember when I was leaving, I was heading to the valley because my grandfather got into a really bad car wreck.
Yeah.
Side note, he survived the car wreck.
Yeah.
The man was 90 years old and he survived. Toughest man in the world. Anyway, on the way over there, I had this is a laptop too. I had a Cricket broadband connected to the USB.
Yeah.
We gave you the internet.
Yeah, I remember those things.
Now, that thing did not work for shit in Baytown.
Nope.
As soon as I left Baytown,
worked fine.
Fucking 100% signal. I was watching videos. I downloaded a movie on the go. That was unheard of at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I was on watching them, and at that time the match already happened. Of course, years passed. So then they had the match on the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and I was mesmerized. I'm like, this dude walked across the cage, along the side, and a fucking hurricane off the dude all the way to the bottom. And then they decided to do the Tower of Death suplex which is one guy stacked on another guy, stacked on another guy, and the guy on the very top, and then I'll just topple down one by one.
Yeah.
In one successful movement.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, like they're trying to get noticed, and I'm like, I noticed them.
But that's the problem. TNA is like, they should be noticed, but hey, let's put Hulk Hogan in.
Yeah,
let's put Sting in. And I'm like, you guys, no.
We need the star power. We need this. I'm like,
you don't.
You have the people there.
You have the good people there. Make them stars. But no, you want to have Kevin Nash running around with his fucking knee that
buckles,
that the wind fucking knocks out. I'm like, fucking hell.
But CM Punk was like bashing on his knee. That was hilarious. I miss CM Punk.
I do too. Some days
I miss him, but like
he's a bit overrated.
No,
he was okay as a wrestler.
I like his wrestling style.
His personality was fine, and his promos were great. It's just that he was just kind of like, you know, kind of an ass.
I like the way that he talked.
Yeah, it was fine. He was.
He was the
best person.
Even when he was a face, and even when he was a heel,
he was the best person who could come up with off the cuff kind of promos. You could tell that he was making it up as he went, and it worked fine. He didn't have anybody writing his shit, which is what it needed to be. Mm-hmm. And I do miss his promos and like who always used to insult everybody, and it was funny. But like, there's better people now, like out there in the world. So he's doing his own thing, and that's great. But like, I don't need to see him back in wrestling. Like, if he ever comes back, he should just come back as a fucking manager, as a promoter or something like that. Or like, just be a dude who
something of power. Let's say
make him the new Jim Cornette. Okay. That'd be fucking hilarious. Make CM Punk the new Jim Cornette, just talking mad shit and just managing teams that he believes in and all this shit like that, and that'd be perfect. He doesn't need to wrestle another day in his life if he ever wanted to. That'd be perfect. Just make him the new Jim Cornette. That'd be hilarious.
Because he walked out because of creative. No, he was injured. They weren't doing
all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Then Neville walked out because he's just like, why am I losing to this and I'm still fighting? I should be going for the fucking Intercontinental belt at least. He should have.
And one of the things that broke the camel's back was that he was supposed to
lose
have a match. But he was supposed to have a match. He posted on with the WrestleMania DVD.
No, yeah, the Aries and him lost, and they got cut, and no royalties.
Yeah, so
that's a bummer.
That hurt him, and that was the reason why Aries left.
That pissed me off too. If like, hey, I did a match at WrestleMania, that's great.
They were the ones that got it started.
They're the opener.
Yeah, they were the opener. I'm like, why would you not?
According to everybody, it was a good match. It was a good opener.
It was. You can see it on WWE Network.
Yeah.
Luckily, you can see it. But the
DVDs they're gone.
Yeah, but the DVDs
and they don't make money off the network. They don't make any kind of money off the network. They're licensed and they're on that thing, which is kind of shitty. Mm-hmm. That's another reason a lot of people were like, "Why the fuck are we on the network? We can't do anything on here." So I'm like, "Well, fuck." It sucks.
Then I'm like, okay, well, like, and then with Neville being gone, I'm like, this is not good. Yeah, don't get me wrong, other people got to step up because of it. He's still doing all these new stuff now, but
he should be bigger too.
He should be bigger too.
He should be. When he was Samurai Del Sol and he was doing amazing shit with Ospreay and Ricochet and all that shit, that dude should be on the top. He should be the new Rey Mysterio, and they just don't know how. They don't put any faith in that. They don't have any kind of faith in the fact that this guy can wrestle because they see him as a small guy. He's not going to be a champion. They don't give him any kind of opportunities. They don't give any of these small guys any kind of opportunity.
Not yet, at least.
To do anything big. The last person they did was with Bryan, and the only reason they did it with Danny Bryan or Bryan Danielson or whatever is because the fans turned on them and they got pissed and they kept getting pissed and people were getting mad and they saw how it affected the product. And that's the only reason why Daniel Bryan got a chance to be in a WrestleMania main event. The only reason he got a belt, any kind of thing like that, was because the fans forced WWE's hand. Because like if he had lost the fucking thing or whatever and not gotten the main event, they would have fucking revolted. They would have like started a riot.
And it happened at a time when it was the network was just about to start.
Exactly, and everybody was getting so annoyed by it, and it's like we're getting force fed this bullshit. No one wanted to see Batista at Orton. That was dumb. That was the stupid. Even Batista said that was dumb.
You know why that happened in the first place?
Yeah.
Because of Vince.
Yeah, because that's all he thinks of.
Vince is like, how come people don't like Batista? Look at him. I'm like, well, because...
And that says the thing about the Roman Reigns problem. The Roman Reigns problem, and I'm tired of like internet wrestling fans being like, oh, it's like, this fuck this guy. Just like,
he's good.
It's not that he's good. It's like, I don't like this character either. He's not a bad person. He's not a bad anything. He's just kind of a dull character. If you want change, if you want to change how the wrestling business is acting, you know what you should do instead of booing Roman Reigns all day? When he walks out, turn your back. Don't make a reaction. That's what they're more afraid of. If you don't like Roman Reigns, then turn your back and don't do anything. Don't watch the match. Don't boo it. Don't yell at it. Don't do anything. Turn your back and ignore it. And that's what would actually cause an actual chain reaction of changing the character that you don't like.
Because they want to see
not throwing the Shield out there and making it, oh, you like him in the Shield, let's bring him back. No, that's boring. The Shield was boring to begin with. I never liked that fucking thing anyway. It's like that limited the characters that they're in there. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose or John Moxley or whatever should be fucking legit characters. You put these imitations on them, and then now they're in this group, and it just seems so boring.
The good thing is that it's temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary, sure, but it's boring. I don't like it. The best team now is Cesaro and Sheamus because they got along so well, and it's great. I love the fact that those two are a team now.
I love the fact that still making Cesaro talk even though he knocked out his team.
It's fucked up.
He's knocked out his team. Goes, yes, because we are the bar. We win the bar. I'm like, dude, and people are like, what?
That team was great. I love that team. It's so funny.
And it's wrestling's in a weird. It was like the craziest month for wrestling as of in a good while. Neville walking out, fucking the virus that started everybody. Now I will say, going back to Bullet Club, we were talking about that happened. Like, yeah, WWE doesn't have anything like that. Did you see the match between Balor and Styles?
I heard it was good. I haven't seen it yet.
It was good. The ending. It gave me chills because one, I never got into Bullet Club. I never got into New Japan until much later.
Yeah.
But they did like a reference to New Japan, but it was like a shot at the Young Bucks at the same time.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty cool. But as far as I still watch wrestling, I still love wrestling.
We should do an entire podcast just about wrestling next time.
I know. I was supposed to finish it like 30 minutes ago, and now we just kept going. We're supposed to be like, all right, we're done.
Well, this is what it's another thing I keep checking out and watching again because again for a while I was out of wrestling again. I hadn't watched in a long time, and then like a lot of wrestlers I liked were going away and they were getting fired and let go, and I'm like, this is kind of like I liked Kozlov. He was a good wrestler and he was funny. And then when him and Santino became like the European gentleman kind of gimmick, that only lasted 2 weeks and then they were both gone.
But they were funny though.
They were funny as hell.
I like whenever they were like, it was entertaining. So like, yeah, we may need to do a wrestling podcast. I think I might have this going to I'm just gonna put it all together. I think this podcast lasted for a little bit more than 2 hours and a half now.
Just separate the wrestling part. Put a little side note.
Okay, we just do the Henry update, and then we're gonna call the next one the wrestling. So I'm gonna do that. So all right, guys, this time for real. I gotta figure out what's going on. Bullet Club. New Japan. All right. Well, thank you again, Henry. I had a really fun time. That was a very fun. I never talk wrestling on this thing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have someone talk wrestling too because I do legitimately.
There's another guy in the FGC, Ivan. I don't see him much, but he does talk wrestling a lot too, and I think he has a podcast or something as well. Like, I would like to talk about stupid shit about how terrible the Attitude Era actually was, or wrestlers who got misused or overused, or dumb gimmicks, or terrible pay-per-views like TNA Hardcore Justice, or the ECW November to Dismember that was awful.
That's the lowest one they've ever done.
Yes, they had, and that was bad. And then now, like, their ratings are going down, their attendance is going down. It's like they have some of the best wrestlers on the planet. They're not doing anything with them. And it's just kind of like,
It's starting to show.
It's starting to show. Like, y'all just got Asuka, and y'all have nothing for her now. Like, she's great.
Shinsuke Nakamura. It's sad what they're doing to him right now.
Yeah, it's like he should be something special, and yet y'all guys are jobbing him out. Or just putting him in feuds.
Temporarily right now is what I'm saying. Right now, right?
They're doing the Mahal thing because they're going to India, and that's a big market because wrestling is huge over there, and that makes sense. But you guys can't throw all your buckets into a country that you guys aren't really watching right now. It's just like your fans, your headquarters are in the States. Your fans are in the States for the most part. That's where most of your money comes from.
I want to see Nakamura and Styles go at it.
They should, because they need to do it again. But they need to save that for WrestleMania.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
because they used up like Cena and Nakamura, which I'm not saying Cena was like a big deal. They fucking used it as like We need people to watch the match during advertisements.
That was the, hey, this Nakamura guy, we need to put him over. Here, Cena, help him out. And he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that was basically what it was.
And Nakamura dropped the
They're not used to wrestling each other whatsoever, you could tell.
Yeah.
You know the Sami Zayn match he had, his debut, they made it up on the fly?
Yeah.
They was like, they never even talked for like, they talked for 10 minutes before the day, and that was it.
They said, like, what do you feel, they did say, what do you feel comfortable doing?
Yeah.
Is there any high spots you want to do? And they're like, say, this is what I do. They had to look at each other's matches, of course.
Yeah,
they can do.
like, that was made up on the fly, and that's
and they
crazy.
were like, this is what we're going to do, this and this. They never planned it.
If WWE's smart, like, I'll say it like this, and like, if they're smart in what they're going to do, like, first off, start acknowledging New Japan. They've mentioned the IWGP belt before. When Styles came in, they told him he's held that same belt, the same as Lesnar. Like that's a belt. That's a company that's out there. They acknowledge that Japan's a thing.
Bullet Club too.
But they don't acknowledge it by name. They would be smart if they started acknowledging it by name, and if they could license or try to make some kind of deal. Because here's the thing that no one's really thought about. Like, if you go back...
Well, weird thing, like, we're Ring of Honor is actually...
But Ring of Honor will help them out sometimes.
Yeah, but they're doing... But, like, Ring of Honor is actually doing stuff with New Japan right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they're open to negotiate to help them, if they have the money and they have the time, they should be able to do it. Because the other thing, too, that the reason they got Nakamura and Styles right off the bat was because the network had just launched in Japan. And it's like they wanted people to have access. People know them in Japan. Here's their catalog of stuff that they have that's not in the States. If they were smart, they would make a deal with New Japan to get some of the library. Because everyone kind of forgot. Nakamura wrestled Lesnar a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Before he even had the gimmick he has now. Very young version of him. And like, if they were smart, they would build that for WrestleMania. They would use Styles and Nakamura as a thing to compete, but I would save that for like a SummerSlam or something like that. And then have Styles wrestle Balor at WrestleMania and put him in a ladder match, which they'd go off on that. Mm. And then have the main event be Nakamura and Lesnar, because that'll be the return match that no one knew would ever happen, because no one even knows. A lot of people don't know that he wrestled Lesnar in Japan.
I didn't know that either. It's almost I knew who he was.
Yeah, he wrestled Angle in Japan as well. When Angle was TNA World Champ, and he also had the IWGP Intercontinental belt at the same time.
He was feuding with him, right?
Yeah, he was feuding with Nakamura at the time, and so like they have an entire set of people that they could use to build matches that fans that they're clearly trying to go for hardcore fans. By people who watch wrestling,
having the wrestlers going,
by having the wrestlers that they have, by mentioning and referencing hardcore, like you have to be a hardcore wrestling fan to know who the fuck the Bullet Club is, and then you bring in Gallows and Anderson, two dudes who identify star.
They came in out of nowhere one Monday Night Raw, and I lost my shit.
Yeah, they popped up out of nowhere.
I barely knew who they were, but I'm like, I know who they are though.
Yeah.
And then people in the crowd. They were in a random city whenever they came out. They weren't in California.
They weren't in anything random. Like something.
Some people in the crowd, they were like, they knew who that was.
Yeah.
But then
on top of that, you get Adam Cole to pop up.
That one was big. Was a big.
That's
deal.
a big deal, and you know exactly where he was the moment before he was there. He was only gone from Bullet Club less than 2 weeks, and then he showed up in NXT. And they even said it on Twitter. It's like, we don't know who this ghost is. What the fuck are y'all talking about? It's like they don't know who that was. It's like, you guys clearly are watching what's going on there. You clearly are showing off that you know fans want these wrestlers, but that's what it is. It's weird.
Hey, Tony's calling.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'm stuck at Henry's house. No, I do have to go home though, but just whenever you get here, just let me know. I just need to jump that way I can be able to start moving. Huh? I think the battery went out. I just had the alternator changed. I just need to jump like the alternator's still good. I just need to run at least the battery until I get home. Okay? Great. Thank you.
It's not too big of a deal if you chill here for a little long.
Say that again, Tony? Okay. Alright, I'll let you know if anything changes. Alright, bye. You say you might come over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, the whole, like, Adam Cole being there, Kyle O'Reilly, and, like, I only know who he is because, one, I saw Wrestle Kingdom. That was the first thing I saw him, was Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Yeah.
When he fought against Adam Cole. And, that pay-per-view blew my mind.
Yeah, you can't find it anymore. It was
no, you can't find it because they're like,
the day of YouTube, the day after it like showed up on YouTube, it's full, and I watched the entire thing. It's like 5 hours worth of wrestling and seeing fucking Scott Norton show up.
Dude, seeing that part Billy Gunn, like, what the hell are you doing over there?
Yeah, he's been wrestling over in New Japan everywhere.
Yeah, and then whenever they came to America for that,
he helped.
That fucking was bad. That whole tournament just for that belt was fun.
Yeah.
That's where I got introduced to Zack Sabre Jr. That's where I actually got to see more wrestlers. I even got my brother to watch it because he personally does not like wrestling. I told him, like, watch this one with me, and he watched it with me, and he's like, I liked it. He liked it a lot, and he felt really fun about it. He's like, I like New Japan.
Yeah.
And I told him, he's like, well, what's the difference between the two? I'm like, well, New Japan, they beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. They legit beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, like they're more stiffer, but you really can't do that style in WWE because especially if they're wrestling every single week.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing it like not only just on TV shows, but you're traveling and doing house shows and some little events here and there. He goes, they have to rest. Now, granted, their schedule now is a lot better than what it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
They get at least a few days off in between. That way they could do their thing. And of course, they had to do media or something with the WWE network, but they're not as strenuous as they once were.
Yeah.
Except for the cruiserweights that do more moves and they don't get proper recognition for it. They're not pushing the brand. They're not advertising enough for them to show that division, because that division's stacked, believe it or not.
Yeah, there's good wrestlers there.
A lot of badass wrestlers in there, and they lost a huge one. Like whenever I saw Kalisto come back, I'm thinking, I want to see Kalisto.
But the fact they lost Neville and that's hurting.
Whenever Neville first jumped into the cruiserweight division,
yeah,
okay, that's worth watching.
Like Gallagher and T.J. Perkins are good, and Kendrick's good, but like they're not gonna hold a division.
No, they can't.
No.
Okay. Well, we really gotta stop. I gotta fix my car.
Yeah, just label that as wrestling and be like, side note, wrestling.
Yeah, we'll do that. But we'll talk again, man. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate you doing this with me. Take care, guys. This time for real.
Yeah, let's go work in a car.
Not for play. For real. So we'll see you later. Take care. You have a good night, guys. Bye.